You are lying in the dark. The smartphone screen dimly illuminates your face. You make a short mechanical movement with your finger to the right. Swipe. The algorithm instantly offers you hundreds of new faces, and at that moment it seems to you that this choice is your absolute freedom, your personal, conscious, sophisticated taste. But let us remove the screen. Let us turn off the electric light. Let us subtract from your life the concrete walls, the warm water from the tap, the concept of legal marriage, and the very words you are used to using to formulate your thoughts. You are standing on the very edge of a flint cliff. You are 19 years old, your teeth ache unbearably, worn down from tough food, and the icy air of the Pleistocene epoch whistles in your lungs. Your main exhausting task for this evening is to find the one with whom you will share your genetic code. And if you think that for this it is enough to be the strongest in the area or simply to hit someone over the head with a heavy club, you are dead. Your lineage has ended without even beginning. Pop culture has long and persistently lied to you. It painted your primitive ancestor as a wild, ferocious creature who took power exclusively by force. This is complete nonsense, having nothing to do with reality. If you attempted to use violence within your tiny community of 30 people, you would not be respected. You would simply be beaten to death with flint axes by your own kinsmen while you were fast asleep. In a world where the survival of each individual directly depends on the cohesion of the group, an aggressive psychopath is a deadly burden, an outcast. And banishment in the Stone Age was equivalent to a swift death sentence in the jaws of the very first predator. Real Paleolithic dating was subtle, visual, corporeal, psychological. You slowly approach the night fire. You cannot talk about your financial success, show a bank account, or display expensive branded clothing. Your only profile is your own body. The woman by the fire looks at you intently. She evaluates things in you that you do not even notice yourself. The symmetry of your face, the cleanness of your skin, the straightness of your posture, and the smoothness of your movements. For her, these are not questions of aesthetics. This is a detailed biological report. Symmetry means that your body is not infested with dangerous parasites, and that childhood diseases and hunger did not deform your bones during your growth period. But a healthy body was far too little. The ritual began, which today would seem to you like absolute madness. You begin to dance. Now you might think, seriously? Dancing in the face of constant starvation and wild predators? It sounds too simple and even silly. A fair question. But look at this through the eyes of harsh evolution. Someone is moving by the fire for hours without stopping, performing complex, highly coordinated jumps and somersaults. Why? This is the most expensive and honest stress test in human history. Your dance shows without words your real lung capacity, the strength of your tendons, and the flawless operation of your brain. If you remain flexible, precise, and strong after an exhausting full day of chasing a wounded deer, your genes are magnificent. You breathe heavily and sweat, and this pungent odor is your main, most honest resume. She inhales your sweat and, at a deep molecular level, reads your major histocompatibility complex. Her immune system is literally testing you. If your immune genes are too similar, your future children will be born weak and will die from the very first mild cold. She must reject you if the chemical analysis is against you. And she will reject you. Because in the primitive world, it was the woman who chose. And her stakes in this game were incomparably higher than yours. For you, the act of mating is just a few minutes of pleasant risk. For her, it is 9 months of the most difficult pregnancy in a world where a lurking saber-toothed tiger sits behind every bush. It is a painful, deadly childbirth on the bare, cold ground without medicine and antibiotics. It is long years of absolute vulnerability when she will physically be unable to run fast, gather roots, and defend herself. She does not just need an aggressive alpha male, she needs the one who will stay. How will you prove your long-term reliability to her? You cannot make a sacred vow at an altar. Such abstract words simply do not exist in your lexicon yet. You take a spear and go hunting. You risk your life under the hooves of a mammoth just to bring to her feet not just a piece of dry meat, but the most caloric, the most tender piece of fat and liver, full of vitamins. You give away your resource. You visually show that you know how to share and take care of someone. You bring her a strange necklace made of neatly drilled seashells, which you carried on yourself for hundreds of kilometers from the great salty water. Why does she need these shells? They cannot be eaten. They cannot keep her warm in a blizzard. But they visually prove you have developed abstract thinking. Your brain has evolved. You know how to negotiate, trade, and communicate with other foreign tribes. You represent high social status and safety. But let us expand the scale of time and space even further. Imagine that in your native tribe there are only 15 women, and all of them are your close relatives, sisters, and cousins. Inbreeding will inevitably kill your lineage in just 2 generations. What do you do in this dead-end situation? Once a year, when the heavy snow melts in the mountains, several nomadic groups from all around converge in one green valley. This is a primitive, intertribal festival, a huge, frightening, noisy market of flesh, stories, and genetic material. You stand before absolute strangers. They smell completely different. They have terrifying tattoos made of red ochre on their cheeks and scars you have never seen before. You are wildly terrified. All your internal animal instincts demand that you immediately grab your heavy spear and attack first. But instead, you are obliged to take a difficult step forward. You must please the one whose language you do not even know, whose signals are incomprehensible to you. You begin to joke. You make strange, ridiculous sounds, mimicking a beast wounded by a death cry. You make her fierce tribe laugh heartily. A sense of humor is the highest, undeniable demonstration of a developed intellect. If you know how to masterfully diffuse social tension in a crowd of armed strangers, you will survive any natural storm. You find her fleeting glance among hundreds of others. A silent, deep agreement takes place, and at that very moment you forever, irreversibly leave your native tribe where your mother and your brothers remained, or she packs her meager belongings and leaves hers forever. You completely sever all ties with everything you have known and loved since early childhood. You do this for the sake of a single, great, and blind goal, to continue the fragile chain of DNA that has lasted on this planet for billions of years. And now slowly return to your warm, safe room. Look once more at the dim screen of your phone, your sticky fear of not being reciprocated in a text message, your obsessive desire to buy an expensive status item just to make a fleeting impression on strangers, your strange unconscious urge to dance wildly in stuffy nightclubs to heavy hypnotic bass lines that so closely resemble the beats of an ancient ritual drum, your subconscious, sharp attention to the natural scent of another person's body. You still sincerely think that it is you, a modern and civilized human, choosing a partner by some lofty call of a pure heart or a sophisticated mind. But it is an illusion. Inside your skull, beneath the thin crust of civilized manners, the bright primitive fire of the Paleolithic still burns. And right now, lazily scrolling through an endless cold feed of strangers' faces, you are simply trying desperately to prove to that frightened woman by the ancient fire that you are worthy. Worthy of ensuring that your hot blood does not freeze forever on this endless, icy plane of evolution.